Hi everyone, today I'm just going to go over the Gains test results template. This can be downloaded off the Gains website. The first thing you'll notice when you open it up is that there are some pink columns. What these mean is it's just some formatting we put in for required fields just to make it really obvious. They are also denoted with the red asterisks, which has always been there. For the first column, specimen aliquot ID, you just want to enter the specimen or aliquot ID that you used for this test. If a specimen on the surveillance data when it was submitted has been aliquoted, the aliquot ID must be used, not the specimen ID. And if this is a pooled test, meaning you did this test on multiple specimens at the same time, the specimen IDs or aliquot IDs can be separated with a bar. So this is an example of what a pooled specimen would look like. You'll notice that each ID is separated by a bar. If you are doing pooled specimens, you'll also need to select yes from in the pooled specimens column right here. For diagnostic laboratory name, this is just going to be the laboratory where you sent your specimens to be tested, and this is where you'll put in the address for the diagnostic laboratory. For the lab storage method, when you click on it, you'll notice that a yellow pop-up comes up, and it just says, if other, please describe in the column to the right. And all this means is if you do select other laboratory storage method will become required, and you'll need to fill that out. Here are just the options for the laboratory storage method. You can select any from this list, or again, you can select other and then fill in other laboratory storage method. Lab submission date is the date that you sent the specimens into the lab to be tested, and the test date is when the specimens were actually tested within the lab. For sample type submitted, again you'll notice that the yellow box pops up when you click on it. This is just saying that if testing cDNA, you just need to select the original sample type and that'll be fine. Here is all the sample types that can be selected, and you'll notice that there are a lot of them, so select any from this list. For a sample type, if you're doing pooled samples, it's going to be in the same format as the specimen IDs. You're just going to put them in and separate them with a bar, and you're going to do it in the same order as the specimen IDs are in the first column. Here's an example of how it would look if it was a pooled specimen, and you'll notice that they are separated by that bar there. For test type broad, when you click on it, you'll notice that a pop-up comes up, and this is just telling you that for PCR, sequencing, serologic, and other test type, that test type specific and test requested will become required. Here are all the options for test type broad, and if the PCR, sequencing, and serologic tests are chosen, you'll notice that test type specific and test requested both turn pink, and this is just letting you know that they are required. If one of those choices are not chosen, they will not turn pink, and you'll know that it will not need to be filled in. For test type specific, if it is required, the choices will change depending on what was chosen test type broad. You'll notice that these are obviously for the PCR. Other test type, it will only need to be filled in if test type broad is selected, other test type, and test type specific has been selected, other test type. For test requested, you'll notice that there is a lot of choices, and if you're testing for something that is not in this list, you can just select other right at the bottom there and then fill in what it is in the other test requested. For a protocol, this will need to be filled in if test requested was chosen, and this will just have a drop down menu again, and if it's not in that list, you can just fill in methodology reference. For results date, this is just going to be the date that the results were received from the lab, and the test results, when you click on it, you'll notice that a yellow box pops up, and this is for saying that for sequencing and microarray, just add the details into the result descriptor. These are the options for confirmatory testing. Confirmatory testing isn't usually filled out using the Excel template. It is usually filled out later using the Gains website through test updates. For confirmatory results, you just want to select the results from your confirmatory testing. The result descriptor, when clicked on, a yellow box appears, and it's just saying, describe the results and sequences obtained, and include the GenBank accession number if you're including a comparison to a known virus. Describe sequencing and microarray details for positive confirmation results. So it pretty much just allows you to add more information in reference to your results, and you can add your GenBank accession numbers if you're comparing it to a known virus. For test status, you have active test ongoing and results finalized interpretation pending. If it is a negative test result, it will automatically set to results finalized interpretation pending. But if it's a presumptive positive and you're doing confirmatory testing later, you can set it to active test ongoing. Finally, we have notes, and this is just a free text column. You can add any information that you think is valuable to the test and you would like to have included in gains. You can add as much as you like, as it is a free text column. When saving your file, it's easiest to name the file in this format, as it's very easy for us to recognize and yourself to organize and store. So you just want to put your organization, the country, the type of file, and the date, and then that just makes it really easy for everyone to deal with it. This is the end of the test results tutorial. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact any of the Gains team, as we are always happy to help.